Schnitzel, this is a recording for you that I'm going to do. I'm going to do it in quite quick speed and try to give you as much information as I can. Um, there's some stuff in here that specifically that I wanted to go over with you. Obviously, you're a good player in general, so don't take, this is just to transfer. I'm trying to transfer over as many of your Gates of Hell skills into this as quickly as possible. This game's primarily going to be talking a lot about macro. And like how to get a big army, and then there is some good micro here that I wanted to go over, but more so it's just a macro game where I'm just throwing units at the enemy, and I want to show you how that can work too. Macro is the most important thing. It doesn't matter like if you're doing amazing micro, but the enemy just has 3 more times the troops, it actually doesn't matter. So these macro skills are pretty important. So I'm going to do early aggression here too. I wanted to just kind of show you the power of super early aggro. I will, granted, my opponent I don't think is a top tier. I think he's pretty bad, but it just gives you an idea in a perfect scenario how you can take advantage of early aggro. So I'm making my council hall. This is basically the equivalent of your school of cavalry. It produces archers twice as fast. So I've got them rallied over to the enemy. I'm going to turn it to ×2 for the next foreseeable future, just so you can so I can explain things in time. So I got my scout. I see where my archers can be efficacious. I understand that archer and horse are not perfectly analogous because these guys have range to shoot, but you get the idea. With your armor, you can come in here, kill. If you had 2 knights right now, you could almost one-hit kill. I think you can maybe one-hit kill. We have to look up the number for what it is, but you could be one-hitting these, or 2 potentially, hitting these villagers with 1 or 2 knights. So I'm rallying archers here, picking off villagers, trying to get idle time. Even if I don't get any kills, this is a great. Like obviously this guy's an idiot, but even if I didn't get kills, as long as his game plan's thrown off, that's important. I'm bringing a tower here. This is a good strategy, specifically more for the English because they get a bonus near their towers. But it can be really good in France too, with France too, because soon I'm going to be basically denying this entire wood line here. I'm going to jump in here if he comes close to the wood line and use that. We'll go ×2 because this guy's just feeding villagers and being an idiot. Okay, here's something I wanted to tell you when I watched this the first time in really quick speed. I'm willing to lose these archers for villagers. So I'm cool to take lots of like if I lost all these guys for a couple more villager kills, that would be a good trade in my book. So it's okay to take damage or lose people. Villagers are the key to all of this. If you kill villagers, you cut out the enemy's economy. Here's a big micro mistake I have. These guys have these spikes they can put in front of them, and they would stun the horse. That was kind of a bad play up there. I let them charge me, and so I'm doing some pretty shit micro here. I could have pulled this unit back behind his buddies, and then this guy would fuck around and try to get him. So that's another little micro thing you can do too, is pull back weak units in these micro fights. Obviously, when things get to scale, that'll no longer be possible, but yeah, there's me using the spikes in front there. We'll go to ×2 until I have something to say. I do respect your time. I brought these. I just stuck the villagers that I brought into here. It's not worth it for me to have to bring them back. I can use them to repair. I can use them to make more towers. So they're just going to stay there. I'm okay with losing them in the economic system. And you can just see the downtime here, odd villagers killed and just downtime and just the stress level. I think that's an important distinction here too, is just raise the stress level and, ruin whatever plan they have, make it go out the window. Another tower here I'm trying to get over the fence. Like I notice here my buddy is getting attacked, so I'm rerouting all forces to go down there. I tell him in chat, I'm coming, make sure he doesn't feel alone, so that he has the will to fight on, even though things are not going to go good for him soon. And we'll skip ahead a little bit. So in that other tower, okay, so scout dies there, stupid of me. Idle vills we go back to. Here's a little micro thing I wanted to show you. So I'm coming in here, focus firing villagers. I'm sure you instinctively thought that's smart, but just make sure you're doing it in game, because I got a villager kill there. If I didn't focus fire, I just would have hurt a bunch of villagers, and that really doesn't matter. So focus fire on villagers if you don't have retarded overwhelming force. I'm just backpedaling here. Obviously, you know how to do that. I know you do. I'm focus firing those guys behind. When these guys run, I shoot. I'm sure retarded have to say. Okay, here's something I want to talk to you about. I know that these guys are going to die. I've shift clicked all these guys. At this point, I know these guys are dead. I'm out of there. I don't need to watch that happen. So I know the fate. Those guys are all dead, and they killed a couple of villagers. So very important there is once the micro is over, just leave. Just do what you need to do and leave, because you don't need to watch. Just move on to the next thing. that guy might be watching that fight while I'm macroing, so that's fucks for him because I'm getting more guys. Just standard. My buddy comes in here and harasses. Everything's looking really good now, but soon this guy on the south is going to collapse. Again, I'm saying lots of positive things in chat to keep him more morals good. Do that for me too. If I'm getting attacked and getting fucked, make sure to say, hey, I'm coming, Roggle. I got this. I'm coming. Keep people's spirits up. Obviously, this guy's gonna get fucked pretty hard here. I think I do manage to come and save him the first time. Okay, because I know, I looked on the Wikipedia to confirm how many workers. There's a calculation. There's nothing really that important in this fight. I'm basically alt-Aing. There's a calculation that is done for how many workers it takes for each thing in the game. So these longbowmen, for example, take 4 food workers and 5 woodworkers without any upgrades. There's a really good website where you can. It's like basically a tool online where you can go through all the units, put in all your upgrades, your tech, everything, and then it shows you how many workers on each resource you need to have a constant production of it. So that's very important. Obviously, that you have to work around. It's never going to be perfect, but that gives you an idea of how many barracks. Yeah, you asked that earlier, how many barracks to build, and basically, if you have that an idea, so I know that when I have another 8 or another 4 villagers on food and another 5 on wood, that I need another archery range, for example. And then also remember, don't forget that you have to continually produce workers, and they also cost 4 food workers to have them on their own job for worker production. So those ratios are important to know. Nothing happening here. I'm going to fast forward again. We repair the buddy there, building him a wall. He's weak. People I've noticed always just keep attacking the weak person, so better to put some defenses there. The smart play probably would be to attack me because he knows both of our armies are down there, so it'd be stupid to attack him again. But that's what they'll do, and they will be stupid. I'm just here killing villagers. You don't need to see that. Here's another opportunity where I'm seeing the villagers way more important than I could kill a few spearmen here. But if I kill these guys, these are the engine of my enemy. If I can kill enough of those guys, that's what's important. So now I go for the light targets, the spearmen, trying to any more villagers I see. And then here, I see the fight's lost. I see there's really no more value I can get there, so I just tab away. I know those guys are going to die, but so tab away before things are when things are already set in stone. Just get the fuck out and do something more productive. Okay, let's move along. Okay, I'm throwing down. I have a keep landmark here. I'm throwing that down because I figure the enemy, if they come for me, I've gotten very little frontline defense here, so that's going to be a good buffer there. I see scout data that they're moving to my buddy, so I am rallying troops there, but it's not going to be enough, and he's going to get ran through because he's really bad. So basically just a cripple fight down here for a minute. Sorry for this is probably too fast now. But basically he's going to lose that fight down there. I'm trying to help him, but I just don't have enough troops. So here's what I do here. So I just got to T3. I'm trying to get all my upgrades, and I don't want to start a fight until I get those upgrades because super important. It's like I don't know the exact ratios, but I would guess it's like 30%. I could be completely wrong, but I would suspect it's like your units are 30% better when they get their their tech age upgrade, and then you've also got the blacksmith upgrades as well. So I'm just trying to delay this fight. I'm hoping that he kills my buddy's buildings. I know he's out of the fight basically, largely. My buddy is trying to go to Imperial Age with a giant fort here, so I try to help him out to get that done with wood here. I mean, that won't come in to play much, but if it does, that's a good little trick. I'm sure you would have realized that too, but just obviously something to keep in mind in your more top of your mind. I'm sure you would have thought about that yourself, but just I saw the enemy had a lot of man-at-arms, so I'm getting those spring ults. Those things here, if you can see my mouse. My unit comp is pretty poor. I don't have a good front line, but I was hoping to kite back because he didn't have any horses, but that actually doesn't work out. All right, so here I'm realizing that basically I need to go 2v1. So my choice is, I think, really smart as I get another town center because I know that I basically have to match the economies of these two players and then also outskill them. So the second town center means I can produce villagers just as fast as them because they're only on one town center each. So once that's done, I'll have the economies of 2 players. So you need to think that's another thing that if I could highlight something here verbally is Just think of, if I get another town center, I have the economic engine of another player. So super important. Pretty shitty fight here in my. I don't do too great here. They're just the numbers are overwhelming. These things do okay, but it just swarms. These guys are pretty expensive here, but I think this is basically a wash. We're just gonna skip through it. It's just a nothing fight basically. All right, so now I have the economic engine of the second player. I'm spamming farms, keeping to my faction's strength. I think a little fake fight happens there. You'll notice here's a little tiny little something. See the stealth forest here? I can't actually see through it. I've got the fog of war off, but everything here where my mouse is past the wall is in fog. So if you put a tower inside the stealth forest, you can see out of it, but they can't see in. That's sort of a niche tip there. All right, I'm getting. They have a lot of low-value units massed up, so I'm getting the catapult. It's good at spreading out damage against light targets. More farms. Okay, well here's another thing. I don't actually implement it very well this time, and I wish I did. This is basically a review for me as well to learn as well from my mistakes. I should have a force of fast-moving units. See this line here where he's rallying troops? This is called a supply line. So if I can get troops in between interdicting this supply line, like if I have like 8 horses or something like that, I can kill these individual guys like it's nothing. And then he has a choice to make. Does he? Okay, here this is extremely important. So pay attention. That part I expect you to understand, but this part might be a little more advanced. So. Or just require more analytical thinking. Let's just pause this for a second. So I'm there interdicting, so he has to react to that. So his 2 choices are he can, and both these choices are great for me. So let's run it through. So he can come back to deal with it with his main force, in which case his siege and his archers turn their backs, and I can hit them from behind. So that's important. That's number 1. And they're out of position, and I get to buy time or whatever it is. So that's one choice he has. Second choice is that he rallies here and starts to build up a big enough force to counter the middle. And the reason that's great is because this stops reinforcing. So this stops growing. I'm growing, but this isn't growing. So if I wait until he's got whatever X amount here, and or whenever I decide to, before this can push up here and rejoin the force, I have a chance to attack this while I'm bigger than him. So that's a very important. Think of the secondary effects of blocking supply lines. Okay, and we're going to continue here. Also, I sent some resources to my. Here's another thing I'm going to talk about. I sent some resources to my friend too, even though he's so fucked up that it's going to take a while. If I don't send him resources, it's going to take him forever. So an injection of resources can help him get to the critical mass where at least he can kind of breathe on his own. And he's going to be chilling down there, and he does great work later. He does a lot of harass, and I wouldn't have won it without him. So those resources really, if someone's really fucked up, do give them resources. If they can just keep a little flame going, you can really make it bigger by just giving them a couple, like 500 of each resource is a lot to someone who just lost everything. Okay, I think there's going to be a fight here. My front line's no match for him, but these siege engines are really good. I'm moving around my archers here to block him. Obviously, I don't have the perfect force for this. I am against 2v1, so I have to make weird decisions, but I'm moving my archers here to block the siege. His units are also a lot more expensive than mine, although I do have a lot of siege here that I'm about to lose, so they're fighting under the thing. All right, here's something from their perspective. Why would they attack? I think they knew this was here, or if they didn't, why did they just not pull back? And why wouldn't they just to come from another angle? Why come from the area with a keep? It makes no sense when they can just go north a little bit and then hit my economic homeland. So let's just think about always being smart, and we can take our time. This is a fucking 30-minute game. If we take an extra 60 seconds to push up and then hit from a better angle, this thing is just continually doing damage, and it's a big makes a big choke point here, so no reason to go after these when we can just go around. Just a micro thing. Make sure that you're using the catapults against archers. Click them and then shift click a bunch of archers, and that way they'll go hit and then go for this, because what happens sometimes is like a spearmint will come around here, so do try to make sure you're microing your catapults. They're an important unit. I would say they're like the most important unit to micro if you've got it. Okay, I'm going to go free cam for a second. I just want to see you to see this is about 32 minutes, and this is my production. So what is that? 3 stables, siege thing. This is also this produces everything. This is 2 archery ranges. I got 3 archery, so 4 archery ranges, 2 barracks, and 4 stables, or 3 stables. Yeah, 4 stables. Okay, so just so you know, it's 32 minutes just for frame of references. Okay, and here's what I want to show about micro. Okay, I'm against 2 people. Okay, but because I have the economic engine of 2 people, and I've got the the will to fight and the actions per minute to achieve that goal, I'm able to fight them both at the same time. Obviously, you do that flank there. I don't need to tell you that. You're obviously good at that. I'm not saying you're not good at anything else here. I'm just hoping that I can bring you up to speed as quick as possible. My army comp here probably could use some work. Obviously, super stressful 2v1, so I'm just kind of spamming. I'm literally just spamming units, buddy. So maybe that's a lesson there too. And I win this. Obviously, I'm not gonna put a game I lose, but I'm just like buying anything I can. Like I'm not overthinking it. I'm literally just like click, press F1, click the barracks, build, hold Q and Y, or W, double tapping it with my fingers, just getting as many units out as possible. Because anything, don't there's a good saying, but don't let the enemy of choose something is the just choose something. About a wrong choice is better than no choice. So yeah, I'm just basically going to spam units at him from here. Basically, this is, I think, a thing of mental exhaustion as well. It's very hard to stay super, like early game. You have so much mental stock to like target villagers and shit. But here it's like I'm just macroing, just sending hordes of enemy in, friendlies in. So there you go. And I'm just rallying, waiting till I have a big stack, and then I'm going to basically send them in. And this is just like there's no real strategy here. From here on in, I'm just trying to get as many units as possible. Even units that don't counter other units, if you got enough of them, they just, this is a retarded, like, bowmen. These are pretty good against them, but just these guys is not a great comp, okay? But just because I'm going to have more of them and just continually pop them out. As I run out of food, build more of those. Probably a little mistake there, showing the butt of my siege group there. Or if he realized that, he could have ran up on me with horses. I know he didn't have any horses, so I wasn't super scared. But if he did build them, I would have been fucked. Check out my worker count, by the way. It's 115. That's about where I like to be, anywhere between 100 and 115. That is the what I've seen from watching Twitch, the pro meta for just having a good economy. It doesn't leave you a ton of room for army, but what the pros do, and I'm not saying I'm a pro, don't fucking get that twisted, but what they say is it's better to just be replacing units than have a large standing army. So it's just having a stream of units, which the higher worker count affords you, you can have like more units pushing. I think I made that point, so we'll move up. Putting this in his base mostly for morale purposes, to say, hey, thanks for staying, and to keep him, make sure he doesn't get fucking killed. But I'm pretty sure we're going to win at this point. I'm aged up. I make a huge mistake here. So I aged up, and I'm getting my upgrades, and usually they're pretty quick, but because I'm pop capped, and this here, maybe I'll just hold it here. So I'm pop capped. I cannot have a bigger army. I've queued in these upgrades here, but they cannot actually complete because this shit in the front is in the way. So this is something I never thought about happening, but this is critical, and this could have lost me the game. If this was a closer game, I would have lost here. So super important. Make sure that you're actually got your upgrades before a big fight. Like, this is the game, whoever wins this, wins the game. So super important. Again, pretty bad micro on my part. Obviously, could do that a billion times better. But this I just want to show that like how important just macro is, because I've just see my army just pouring out here. It doesn't actually matter how good I do on the battlefield if I can push my troops out and they can't. Now if they can, then obviously it's whoever can micro better. But just being able to pour out troops is really important. Okay. Excuse me. Jeez. Okay, and here too, I obviously can. I do actually go for a little flank here, and I do kill some really good villagers, but that was just dumb luck. I should have been doing this the entire game. This is a retarded amount of villagers. I think they've given up here. And here on it, I don't think there's anything that I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to go times 8. I think it's basically game over and just trash talking from here. So yeah, that's it. You can probably turn off the video now. I don't think anything else happens. Goodbye.